If hiring had a theme song, what would it
हम होंगे कामयाब.
be? Yeah, that's a good one. Hey everyone, welcome back to TS Friday. I'm your host Ayesha, bringing you fresh takes and fast answers from the lines of talent acquisition every Friday. Joining me today is Harshal Nagar, Talent Acquisition Manager at London Stock Exchange Group, someone who hires in one of the world's most regulated, high-stakes environments. Let's unpack his stories and fixes. Harshal, if you could give us a quick introduction about yourself.
Thank you, Aisha. I mean, it's really wonderful to be in this conversation with you. I've been into talent acquisition for like more than a decade now. I've worked with organizations like OIBO, Make My Trip Group, and An Academy. And my last stint was with Microsoft, and currently with London Stock Exchange Group, taking care of talent acquisition for technology hiring. And predominantly, if I want to go down to a funnel a bit, I hire for data platforms as a team.
Awesome. So we're very excited to uncover some of your interesting stories. So shall we get started?
Absolutely, looking forward to it.
So my first question to you, Harshal, what's one process tweak that cuts interview reschedules for trading or quant or data roles, especially across time zones?
To be very honest with you, Aisha, I mean, you have to be on the right toes right from the beginning, right? Like as in when you get the job description, while you're talking to your candidates, while you're talking to your panelists for that matter, right? Transparency really matters a lot. It's very important to bridge that gap in between where you're talking to the panelist and the candidate to have that summed up in a good way. And
Right.
I think that's the most important part, where candidates are also excited, they don't reschedule, and the panel is excited, so they don't reschedule, and that's where you have a win-win situation at the end.
Basically setting the expectations right for both
Setting the
parties.
expectations right. Yeah.
Correct, got it. So that brings me to my next question, Harshal. One offer or approval quadrail that prevents last minute delays while staying compliant with audit and com bans.
I mean, it's linked to the first thing that we have said, right? Setting up the right expectations, right? For
Right.
example, I mean, to be very compliant, right, you need to be foolproof right from the beginning, right? While you're putting the data, while you're gathering the data from the candidate on the compensation piece, the expectations, you should be well aware of what you can offer. What
Right.
is the best that you can offer, and what is the best that the candidate wants, right? So that, there's no mismatch while you're offering something, and both the parties should be aligned well enough, well in advance. I understand, I mean, last minute hiccups do happen, and there is a lot of offer shopping, and we go into those zones as well sometimes in few of the cases. But the best practice would be to have things crystal clear right from the beginning.
Understood. That's very informative. My next question to you, Harshal. What is your playbook for hiring scarce profiles without inflating risk, and what's worked for you in the past?
Maintaining relationships, right? I mean, if you know that there is a skill set which is scarce in the market, you won't find them enough. Start creating a pipeline right well in advance, right? You don't want to wait for the job description to land your queue and then you start looking out for candidates, right? Rather create a proactive approach, start creating a pipeline around stuff, start talking to your network, start talking to your hiring manager for that matter, start talking to your candidates. You have to keep your eyes and ears open, right? So as and when you see somebody, you just have to grab them.
So that's a tip for our audiences. That brings me to my next question. What's one panel hygiene rule you never break?
So I go by experience first approach, right? Like one thing that I never break is give them responses at the earliest. Even when you're stuck with something else which might take a longer, tell them that you're stuck.
So what's a first reply template that improves candidate confidence in regulated roles according to you?
Template per se, I do not use per template, right? Because then you lose that touch of bringing that personalization to that particular candidate. But of course, yes, AI helps us a lot, and you can just create one good message for a candidate and then share that across to give them good experience.
Let's move on to our next round. That's our rapid fire round where we'll ask you some fun and strange questions. What's the strangest line that you've ever seen in a finance tech JD?
Won't need the next CV. You can hire me. This is where somebody has written on their CV saying that, and it was pretty hilarious, right? And it was well drafted, but then the line itself, the tagline, usually people write expecting a role XYZ, experienced software developer and all that, right? But this tagline was something that stayed with me in my head. Yeah.
My next question, Harshal, one emoji that sums up a recruiter's month end.
To have that emoji where you're into waters and your tongue is out.
Yeah.
I think That sums up really well.
What's one of the most unexpected places where you found a great candidate?
Well, I have a story to share around it. I'm based out of Bangalore, so
Okay.
you find all the conversation happening around cafes. And I was at Third Wave Cafe. There were two people who were talking to each other very loud, and both of them were developers.
Okay.
And there's one lady who had offers from two organizations. They were discussing the numbers right out loud when each organization and HR and talent acquisition professional say it out loud that don't disclose numbers and all that. They were
Okay.
discussing,
Right.
and I happened to sit right next to them, and it came to a moment where the lady who was discussing, she was really furious and was not happy about the numbers that she got. She was asking the another person whom she was interacting with that what do I do? I have put in my resume on all the sources, I've put it over LinkedIn, but I'm not getting enough responses. And that's where, I mean, the recruiter in me couldn't really, keep calm, and that's where I pitched in and said that, okay, let me know what sort of skill set are you carrying, what role are you at, maybe I can help you. So I was listening patiently because these two people were interacting,
Right.
but my recruiter in me couldn't keep calm, and then I had to pitch in, and that's where the best place, you never know.
You never know
You might
exactly.
find a candidate over Tinder, you might find a candidate over a coffee shop. So there is no one place for a talent acquisition professional, I would rather say.
Absolutely, that's a very interesting story, I must say. My last question to you, Harshal. If hiring had a
Yeah.
theme song, what would it be?
I would say हम होंगे कामयाब.
Yeah, that's a good
It was
one.
the entire fraternity singing, I believe, right? Because it's, you never know what's going to happen next, right? If your candidate's going to join, not
Right.
join. Of course, you could put in a lot of efforts, but I think the theme song should be like "Hum honge kaamyab ek
Ek
din."
din. Yes. Got it. That's a wrap on the TS Friday episode. Huge thanks to Harshal Nagar for sharp real world insights from a regulated hiring space. If this sparked a thought, a grin, or a note, share it with someone in your TA circle. See you next Friday. Thank you. Thank you so much, Harshal. We had really good time speaking to you.
Likewise, Aisha. I'm looking forward. Thank you. Thank you, folks. Thank you, everyone.